It turned out to be a little bit of a chilly afternoon this October day in Colorado, but Mark Udall was hosting an ice cream social right here in Broomfield, Colorado.
And now's the time. This is going to be one on turnout. This is going to be one on mobilizing the ground troops. This is a campaign, just like a military campaign, and you all are going to play a really important role.
This must be a very different campaign for you from running for Congress. Can you tell me in what ways it might be different for you?
It's a different campaign in many ways, but it's also some similarities to when I ran in 1998. There's a sense of excitement. There's a sense that the country wants a change. There's a sense that Colorado can play a key role because in the West, we work together to solve problems regardless of party affiliation. We're inclusive. We're tolerant of each other. We respect each other's religions. We respect each other's sexual orientation. We respect each other's work profile. It's a tolerant and inclusive environment in the West because we come from so many places. We know here that we have to trigger a green energy revolution. People here understand that we have to be fiscally responsible, that tax dollars have to be spent in ways that return an investment to the people who live in Colorado. So it's been an exciting run, and the state is so diverse, people-wise, scenery, landscapes, economic activity. So it's not tough duty to travel to 64 counties in Colorado.
You talked about the fiscal responsibility, and I know you made a very difficult decision not to support either version of the economic stabilization plan or the bailout, as it's being referred to. And on your webpage and in your email, you even quoted Coach Wooden when you said, I want to get the quote correct. It's "be fast but don't hurry."
Yeah. Coach Wooden used to tell his teams every year, "Be quick but don't hurry." And that was my attitude about the bailout plan. We have a financial crisis. We need to act. But I wanted to act in a way that protected taxpayers, protected homeowners, and made sure that there was adequate oversight. And frankly, the bill that we considered Monday didn't have those elements in the way I thought they should be included. The bill that came back on Friday this week was the same bill with one minor change. And to be consistent and to stand with the people that sent me to Washington, I voted no again. The bill passed, but we have a lot of work to do to shore up our financial markets and strengthen our economy. And I still think the principles that I expressed need to be included in the future. There were some other ways to do that. I think we should have injected liquidity right into the banks, and taxpayers could have had a preferred stockholder position, just like Warren Buffett took in Goldman Sachs and in GE. I think we should have instructed the Treasury Secretary to work directly with homeowners to help them renegotiate the terms of their mortgages so they can stay in their homes. That would have given just as much of a lift to the economy, and I think injected capital and liquidity more quickly into our financial markets.
In that same philosophy about being quick but don't hurry, in the last session, Congress was presented with an Employment Non-Discrimination Act, two versions, one that was fully inclusive and then one that might not have been fully inclusive. And I know that was also a tough decision for you. With a new administration and with a brand new senator from Colorado, do you think that same philosophy might apply to Employment Non-Discrimination Act?
Yes, I know it will, and I know it's important to broaden ENDA, which I've supported ever since I was elected to the Congress. The Employment Non-Discrimination Act is just what it says. We shouldn't discriminate against anybody. Our Bill of Rights makes it clear that every human being is equal in stature, is equal in the eyes of God. And we're going to go to work and make sure transgendered Americans are included under the auspices of the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. Count on it. It's important to do it. We took enormous steps forward under the leadership of Barney Frank and others, but we're going to include transgendered Americans as well in a complete ENDA act.
Do you think you'll be able to have Senate hearings as well?
I know we can. With different leadership and with a different spirit in the country, we will hold those hearings. I'm looking right into the camera and I'm saying to all of the young voters, regardless of your sexual orientation, this is your future, this is your country. Please join us and vote on November 4th. Your vote can make a difference. This is a crucial election. It's the most important election of my lifetime, and I'll confess to you, I'm pushing 60 years of age.
Jared Polis was also at the event, and I had a chance to ask him about the national attention his campaign was getting, focused on the fact that he's an openly gay candidate.
Right, it is kind of funny, isn't it? I mean, you have like the New York Times and some of the Eastern treating it like this is news, but here in Colorado, people are just kind of rolling their eyes and saying it's just another day, and this is the Jared Polis we know, and we know his sexual orientation, and it's not a big deal. So it really isn't a big deal here, and people really care about the issues that affect them. I mean, let's find a way to end this war in Iraq. Let's get this economy moving again. Let's make sure this bailout doesn't fall on the shoulder of taxpayers of the next generation.
And speaking of that bailout, they made two attempts to pass what they were referring to as an economic stabilization plan. And I'm wondering if you could share with us what your opinion of that plan is.
Certainly. Well, the second version was certainly better than the first version. Part of the problem with what they're being asked to vote on, it really doesn't address the systemic issues that led to this crisis in the first place. I think our top priority needs to be regulating the derivative area of the marketplace a little bit more so that we're not susceptible to these kinds of fluctuations, because if it's not in mortgages next time, it could be in something else. So we need to get our arms around that. We need to make sure that we hold accountable executives that made decisions and bonus themselves with faulty or short-sighted accounting practices. And we just need to make sure that this doesn't fall on the backs of the taxpayers of our country. And that'll really be the goal of the next Congress. We need a lot of creative ideas and a new approach, and that's what I hope to bring. It couldn't be more important to vote this election. This election will truly be decided based on whether you vote and your friends vote. And if you're going to vote, use those personal relationships you have with family, with friends. Take ownership and take it as your responsibility to get each and every one of them out to vote. If we do that, the right candidates will win, and we'll move towards a truly equal America that we can all be proud to be a part of.
Finally, I spoke with Joe Whitcomb, who is running against State Senator Sean Mitchell.
You've heard statistics about Colorado being number 46 in the nation on K through 12 education and number 49 in the nation on higher ed. Now, what I find interesting about that is that there are exactly 4 states in the union who spend less than we do on K through 12 education. What's interesting is that only 3 states in the nation spend more than we do on incarceration. So there may be, in my view of the world, a connection.
Your opponent, Sean Mitchell, has been strongly opposed to the Fully Inclusive Employment Non-Discrimination Act in Colorado and other LGBT protections. And he's also said that he was against any support of a Safe Schools initiative that focused on LGBT student safety. So I'm wondering if you can tell us what your thoughts are on that.
Well, what's interesting about Sean Mitchell's position on those issues is he actually came right out and said that there is no discrimination against the gay and lesbian community, which is, of course, an incredibly myopic view of what's going on in reality. In my view of the world, it's a basic question of civil liberties. I believe that civil liberties apply to all citizens, not just those who fit within Sean Mitchell's quote-unquote ideal. So I'm, of course, to be clear on my answer, I'm in favor. I think it's a no-brainer as to whether or not we fund initiatives that will protect children in their schools and make them safer, regardless of their sexual orientation.